is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to a special edition, London International Series edition of the R3 via lockdown coverage. Washington Redskins over in London taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. First and foremost, what a ball game. Redskins and Bengals played to a 27-all tie. A lot of different takeaways from this game. First and foremost, the officiating was horrendous. Now, let me add that neither one of these teams won nor lost this game because of the officiating, but they did not make it easier on either one of the teams in this ball game. Both teams had ample opportunities to win this football game, neither making the plays necessary to get the job done. We're going to break this game down here in a second, but if this is your first time watching this channel, welcome. And subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. Also, I'm on Twitter. And currently right now, I don't have a visual on the actual chat discussion box. So if you're watching this video, maybe a little bit later on in the video, I will get visual on the chat discussion, be able to see your comments and read them. But right now, I don't have that capability. So if you're watching this and you want your comment read, going to have to use Twitter for the time being. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Be sure to use Twitter. That is going to be your most effective way to get in contact with me right now, as I have eyes on my Twitter account. Do not have eyes on the actual YouTube chat discussion as I'm doing this video. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter @InTheLabRoom. All of my social media platforms up above there. So go ahead, make that happen. Also on Facebook, In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up there. A lot to discuss here, so I want to jump right into it. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe in this ball game. Again, very entertaining game to watch. Probably the best game London's seen since the NFL started the international series a few years back. 17 games in all, this being the 17th, and I think the best showing over in London. And so those fans got their money's worth in this ball game. Let's jump into likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. I'm going to start with the road team. That was the Redskins in this game. And so the likes for the first half, the opening drive, Redskins march it right down the field, 15 plays, 80 yards, 7 minutes, or excuse me, yes, 80 yards, 7 minutes and 22 seconds off the first quarter clock. Really, really good drive by the Redskins. Great balance. You saw a little bit of Rob Kelly. You saw a lot of the passing game. Saw the Redskins go 4 of 4 on third downs on that opening possession, leading to a touchdown. The 44-yard pass from Kirk Cousins to VD, Vernon Davis. Nice pass down the sidelines. Marvin Lewis challenged, would lose the challenge. Big play, and we've seen Vernon Davis make some huge plays. He had another stellar game. Good to see him still getting his hands on the rock despite Jordan Reed. Jay Reed being back in the lineup. VD still getting his fair share of targets and making plays. And so this offense is so dynamic. And how can you not bring Vernon Davis back at the end of this season? He was on a one-year deal. I fully expect the Redskins to extend another offer to him when this season is done, because this guy has been phenomenal, especially over the last 3 games. Makes another huge catch in the first half, helps the Redskins get a field goal on the board. You go to the first half likes for the Cincinnati Bengals. 65-yard kickoff return by Alex Erickson leads to a touchdown on the opening possession for Cincinnati. It's a great response by the Bengals because they give up the touchdown, long drive by the Redskins. You need an answer, you need it now, and you get the 65-yard kickoff return. Gives you great field position, and about 5 or 6 plays later, you're in the end zone via a touchdown. So that felt good if you were the Cincinnati Bengals, getting that kickoff return to kick things off in this game for you offensively. 4th and 1 stop on the defensive side of the football. Weren't many big plays made by defenses in this game, especially not Cincinnati's. But that 4th-and-1 stop early in the game, Skins inside the Cincinnati Bengals 20-yard line, right around the 18 or so. Need a yard. You know my stance on this. I had no problems with Jay Gruden going for this. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about it a little bit later on when we get to the Redskins dislike. But great stop by Cincinnati, getting the job done. Looked like Robert Kelly slipped on that play. May have picked it up if he kept his footing, would have been able to get forward, lean, and maybe get that first down, but he slipped and did not pick it up. The red zone defense, I thought, was tremendous for Cincinnati. Redskins have struggled this season, have been better of late, but they've struggled this season with getting the football in the end zone once getting in the red zone. Redskins basically said, to hell with the red zone in the second half. We'll just score from outside of the red zone and not have to worry about it. So red zone defense, Redskins hit the red zone 3 times in the first half, only coming away with 1 touchdown. So the Redskins didn't get it done, and the Cincinnati Bengals did get it done in the red zone in the first half of this game. Redskins having to settle for a field goal on 1 trip to the red zone, having to actually missing an opportunity on 4th-and-1 and then hitting a field goal. So Redskins not having great success in the red zone, as they were 1 of 2 in the red zone in the first half, but really 0 of 2 if you think about it, because the field goal, you get points, but you don't get the touchdown, and that's what you want. And the George Iloka interception really was more like a punt. I thought Jamison Crowder might have been open if you take a second look at that play. I thought Kirk could have maybe came to him down a little later on that play, but he made the decision to go deep to Deshaun in double coverage, overthrew him by a mile. Iloka there for the interception. Wasn't a big deal, like I said, more like a punt than anything else. It was 3rd and long anyhow, so really not much there to be upset about, but a nice play by Iloka anyway to catch the interception. You go to the dislikes in the first half from both teams. 65-yard kickoff return given up after the touchdown for the Redskins, as we go to the Redskins in their first half dislikes. You get the touchdown, you got momentum, great start to the game, and you give up a 65-yard. This is my whole situation with the Redskins and their kickoff coverage unit. Don't kick the football inbounds, period. Okay? D-Hop needs to do what he's done all season long, and that's kick the football as far as he possibly can, because anytime we've had to cover kicks this season, the Redskins have struggled mightily, gave up the 87-yard touchdown to the Eagles, have given up big returns a number of times this season, including that one, which gave the Cincinnati Bengals great field position. They would go on to get a touchdown there. Anytime we kick the football and it's a return, it's been bad for this team for the most part this season. I'm just over it. Kick it out of the end zone or kick it deep enough to deter the returner from bringing it out, because when teams return it against us, they usually have really good results. 4th-and-1. Not picking it up. And my biggest issue here was the play call. I didn't have a problem with the 4th-and-1 decision. Jay Gruden knew going into the game, and I said it all week, and a lot of you out there said it as well. It was going to take 30-plus points to win in this game against Cincinnati. Their defense isn't any good. Our defense isn't any good. It was going to take a ton of points for us to win this game, and we knew it. You knew that this wasn't going to be 17-14 or 23-20. You knew you were going to have to score 30 to win this game, and because of that, a field goal not really going to do you much of any good in that situation. So I had no problems with Jay Gruden going for it there. I didn't like the play call on 3rd down, 3rd and 3, and we do an inside handoff. I wasn't a huge fan of that, which set up 4th-and-1. We were killing them through the air the entire game, especially on 3rd downs early in this game. Why are you running essentially what is a draw and an inside handoff out of shotgun and looking to get 3 yards? I just didn't like that play call, but maybe that's what you do when you know you're going for it on 4th down, regardless of the situation. So it's 4th-and-1. I'd love to just see some kind of power. If you're going to run it with some power, lead blocker, get the first down. They're running counter action. It's a slow developing play. There's about 4 Cincinnati Bengal defenders waiting on Robert Kelly as he bounces it to the outside, because there's nowhere to go, because it's such a long developing play. It's 4th-and-1. Should be trying to quick hit him and get up the field, not trying to have a slow developing play with pulling guards and misdirection. It's just not necessary on 4th-and-1. Cincinnati sniffed it out, and they were right there. And like I said, Rob Kelly loses his footing. Would have loved to have seen a better play call on 4th-and-1. If you're going to run it with something that happens a little bit faster. You gave the Cincinnati Bengals defense way too much time to react, and no chance there for Robert Kelly to pick up that first down. And Kirk with the interception, this is really insignificant interception in the grand scheme of things. Took a shot down the field to Deshaun. You never know what could happen. Pass interference, anything could happen. It wasn't there, but it was third and like 13. I mean, what are you going to do? I didn't have a problem with it, but still threw an interception. J-No would have dropped INT late in the first half. He comes off of A.J. Green on the outside, or he might have been in the slot on that particular play. And that's probably why Josh Norman disregarded that receiver on the outside, because he wasn't named A.J. Green. And so he comes off in zone coverage. Andy Dalton never sees him. And it's an opportunity. And I'm putting all of these dropped interceptions on Josh Norman's hand. If you saw him post-game, his hand is huge. Okay, and he banged it up again in this game. I was hoping he'd be able to stay in, and he was. He gutted it out. His hand is swollen beyond belief. It's ridiculous that he's even out there being able to function with his hand as swollen as it is. I'm blaming the drops on that. His hand is really in bad shape. And he had a couple of opportunities in this game. 3, if you count the down the field one that went right through his arms and hit him in the shoulder. But he had opportunities. This was probably the best opportunity. This might be a pick 6 here. If he catches this one, the fastest guy on the Cincinnati Bengals defense was right there with a Redskin defender. Don't know if he's able to get back into play and do anything. Josh Norman has a head of steam with that football going across the field. Would have loved to have seen him get an opportunity to maybe get a return there. That was unfortunate. But in any event, he had opportunities in this game. To me, that was his best opportunity to make a play, and he failed to do so there. Missed opportunity. And that was the story today for the Redskins. Missed opportunities. You could argue the same thing could be said for the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. D-Hop misses from 55 yards. I thought he had the leg for it. And just, I guess, I don't know what's the excuse here on this one, because in Baltimore, I thought he hit it perfectly when it was 58 with the wind blowing against him, and the wind knocked it down. This one, I don't know what the wind was like at Wembley Stadium, but he was short. You know, and I told you on Wednesday that this was a field that had some poor conditions in terms of footing. A lot of guys were slipping out there. So that could be something that happened in this game or on that particular field goal attempt. Who knows? But he missed from 55, was short by about 3 yards or so. And the Redskins go to the halftime break up 10-7 instead of 13-7. After dominating the first half, Redskins had nothing essentially to show for it but a 3-point lead. You go to the Cincinnati Bengals first half dislikes. Sean Williams with a spearing penalty on Deshaun Jackson that really banged him up. Sean Williams, to me, is a very out of control and reckless safety, a guy that I frankly don't like. I think he plays the game with a very sloppy, reckless abandon. He's always leading with his helmet. Never sees what he's hitting, and you saw him later on in the game coming in recklessly. He's not a guy that I'm a fan of, and he got away with a horrendous face mask penalty. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the second half against Jamison Crowder. These guys headhunt. A lot of these Cincinnati Bengal players don't tackle well. They headhunt, and Sean Williams to me is one of the biggest offenders when you're talking about guys in that secondary headhunting and not tackling well. And so he had a spearing penalty early on Deshaun Jackson. Just senseless. A third down completion to Jackson to move the sticks. He's down. He's not trying to get up, and he comes in with his helmet. Deshaun nursing a number of ailments, including a bad shoulder. That one hurt him. He left the field temporarily after that. So Sean Williams continuing to further my dislike for his way of playing the game of football with a spearing penalty. Missed field goal by field goal kicker Mike Nugent. I've been talking about Mike Nugent for years. He's not a good field goal kicker. And so when he misses, it's not a surprise to me. Unlike D-Hop missing, who we feel like is one of the best in the league, Mike Nugent, anything but. So when he misses an extra point and he misses a field goal from 51, I don't bat an eye because this is what Mike Nugent does. Cincinnati was involved in a tie, say 2 years ago in 2014, maybe 3 years ago with Carolina Panthers in a game where they should have won. Down the field, late in the ball game, easy chip shot field goal for Mike Nugent. He misses. So it's not uncommon for him to miss, and he did in the first half. Drake Kirkpatrick with a personal foul penalty late in the first half. Out of bounds, senseless penalty. Again, I talk about the undisciplinary nature of this Cincinnati Bengals team under Marvin Lewis. It's what they do. A lot of bad penalties on the part of this football team. Could have cost them, should have cost them. Redskins not able to cash in with a field goal to end the first half. So he gets away with that egregious penalty, helping the Redskins get down the field to end the first half. You go to the second half likes for the Redskins. Jordan Reed is on my second half likes. Jay Reed! what more can I say? What more can I say about Jordan Reed in this game? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. For Jordan Reed, he was huge in this game. 9 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown when the Redskins desperately needed one. Jordan Reed was huge in this game. Also forced a huge holding penalty on a third down late in the fourth quarter to give the Redskins, or might have been even overtime. So much happened in this game. It all starts to run together after a while. But huge penalty on third down on a holding penalty by the Bengals to keep a drive alive to give the Redskins an opportunity to win this game late. The response, the next is the response in this game. Redskins down 20-10 as Cincinnati comes out with a foray in the second half. Redskins, and I thought John Lynch did a great job on the telecast of basically highlighting the fact that the Redskins dominated the first half, yet they didn't dominate where it matters most. Dominated time of possession, dominated first downs, dominated yardage, all that good stuff. Sounds good, sounds great, but where's the dominance on the scoreboard? There was none, and that was the biggest issue for the Redskins in the first half of this game, and they allowed the Bengals to hang around. And the Cincinnati Bengals came out like gangbusters, got the football first to start the second half, moved it right down the field, got in the end zone, got it back again, moved it right back down the field again, got in the end zone, and they took a commanding 20-10 lead after 2 scores. And the Redskins were really in a corner, and they were at a point where this game could have gotten away from them if they didn't respond. And they had a huge drive, and Jordan Reed, Jay Reed, caps it off with a huge catch and spin to the inside, and this is why this guy is one of the best in the business, and then outruns the entire Cincinnati Bengals secondary for a touchdown. All right, now I have eyes on the actual live feed, so I can actually see your comments, and I will be able to read them at the end of this breakdown. I won't be here all day, so I might not get to all of your comments. There is football going on right now as we speak, so I won't be able to probably read all of your comments, but that being said, I will try to read as many as possible. But then you get that 5-play, 91-yard drive. Some big plays by the Redskins on that drive. A 44-yard catch by Deshaun Jackson, in which the Cincinnati Bengals get away with another egregious penalty. Helmet-to-helmet contact by George Iloka knocks Deshaun Jackson out of this game for good. They missed that play. I don't know how. But again, the officials were horrendous in this game. But Jordan Reed with the big 23-yard catch and run for a touchdown to cap that drive off. Redskins needed that in the worst way. Down 20-10, all the momentum in the world on the side of the Cincinnati Bengals. Redskins cut the lead to 20-17 for the Bengals. Comp's interception of Andy Dalton, huge. Cincinnati back on the move again, have a chance to extend the lead back out to 10. At worst, they're getting a field goal. Will go up 23-17 in this instance. Instead, a little pressure on Andy Dalton. And that's what you got to do. You got to heat the red rifle up. If he's got time, he'll pick you apart. You put pressure on him, he'll do some dumb things. I thought he did a number of dumb things in this game, got away with it, but did not get away with it on this particular play. And Comp in the right spot at the right time. Eifert, little miscommunication. If he keeps going, maybe it's not an interception. He sits down in zone, and ball goes right to Comp. A huge play by Will Compton to pick that off. Redskins would take that interception, turn it into points with a touchdown. Big momentum swing in the game. Redskins take the lead 24-20. And Kirk Cousins is also on my second half likes list. How can you not like what Kirk Cousins did in this game? You like that? You damn right I like that, Kirk. A phenomenal game throwing the football. A number of big-time throws in some pressure-packed situations. None bigger than the 3rd and 13 to Jamison Crowder with a blitzing linebacker, breathing down his neck, knowing he's going to take a shot, staring down the gun barrel, delivers a deep out to Jamison Crowder, who makes a defender miss, gets up the field, gives the Redskins a chance to win this ball game. Huge play by Kirk Cousins. He was phenomenal in this game. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. Like I said, I don't mind that interception at all. Kirk over 400 yards. Again, this is not a good Cincinnati Bengals defense. He did what he was supposed to do against them. Carved them up. We got ourselves a quarterback, folks. For those of you out there still on the fence about Kirk Cousins, get over yourself. This guy is the real deal. The defense, late. Okay, they bent, but they never broke. They're also on my likes list into overtime. Sua Cravens with some huge plays, couple of sacks, in this game. A big deflection. Tyler Eifert one-on-one with Fuller with inside position. If he doesn't deflect that football in overtime, that's a 25-yard completion into field goal range. We may never see the opportunity to win this game. So a big deflection by Sewell Cravens. Joe B dialing up pressure in the latter stages of this game. You want to complain about something, don't complain about Joe B and his play calling. He pressured Andy Dalton from the fourth quarter on in this game, and it proved to be a huge win for the Redskins on the defensive side of the football as they pressured Andy Dalton into some mistakes and some sacks and some deflected footballs and some errant passes. Cincinnati Bengals second half likes opening possession touchdown, and really you could argue just the start to the second half in general. Coming out, getting the opening possession touchdown to Eifert, who was huge in this game. I'll talk about him in a second. Then getting a stop defensively, something that they really hadn't done all day, forcing a 3-and-out, a rare 3-and-out of the Redskins offense this season. Redskins, the best team at not going 3-and-out. Well, the Bengals forced the 3-and-out, got a sack, pressured Kirk Cousins on that drive. Sean LaValle struggled on that particular drive, struggled on the day. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. But the Cincinnati Bengals getting the stop, getting the ball back to their offense in some good field position. They took that field position, deposited into points, and just like that, you have a swing in momentum in this game from 10-7 at half to now 20-10, Cincinnati up in this game. Tyler Eifert is the next guy on my likes list. Man, oh man. I talked to my man BST, and he kept telling me, you need to look out for Tyler Eifert. He's getting healthy. I said, I know what he's about. I know who Tyler Eifert is, but until I see him playing at that level again, I don't care about him. I care about A.J. Green. Well, Eifert made it his business to make me care in this game. He was huge as he made play after play after play for this Cincinnati Bengals team on the offensive side of the football, on third downs, in the end zone with a touchdown. He was huge. He was vital to them having a chance to win in this football game. Good to see him back, because without him, this offense is ordinary unless A.J. Green is making plays. With him in this lineup, now you can't just focus on A.J. Green because they have another guy that can hurt you in the passing game. A.J. Green, it's A.J. Green. What can I say, man? The guy is the best. To me, it's Antonio Brown 1A, A.J. Green 1B in terms of receivers in this league. You put them wherever you want. They're both number one. And A.J. Green continues to go out and put up gaudy numbers week after week. He was dealing with the tough. It was fun to watch him and Josh Norman go one-on-one, mano-a-mano. A lot of holding, a lot of grabbing. Thought it was some ticky-tack calls in terms of hands to the face. That was garbage. But make no mistake about it. A.J. Green earned his money today. Josh Norman literally grabbing him, pulling him. He's still making a diving grab. 9 catches, over $1 and some change. A.J. Green is as good as advertised. This man is the best to me in the business, along with Antonio Brown. Timeout by Marvin Lewis in the third quarter. That's just a bad usage of a timeout. I don't like second half timeouts being wasted. You just know how I feel about that. So I put that down in the second half. That was the overtime timeout. Great usage of that timeout. This is not the dislikes category. This is the likes category. Great timeout to freeze the kicker. At that time, I didn't think it made any bit of difference because it said our kicker, D-Hop, is money. He's still going to knock it home. Boo-hoo, go home with your little timeout. You didn't keep it in your pocket. That's great on your part, but it's not going to make a difference. I'm going to win this game. Great icing of the kicker by Marvin Lewis proved to be the difference in this game. All right. From there, we go to the second half dislikes. Go back to the Redskins. And J-No with the hands to the face penalty. He had 4 on the day. I thought it was egregious by the officials. They've been doing this all year with him. And it's literally barely a tap. And if you heard J-No speak after the game, he said A.J. Green was really savvy and taking his hand and pushing it up to his face to then get the penalty called. Like I said, it's ticky-tack. Barely touching the man's face, barely grazing. It's not impacting the play at all whatsoever. Thought these officials, like I said already 2 times in this breakdown, the officiating was horrible in this game. J-No with dropped interceptions. I kind of talked about this already. I blame it on the hand. Okay, the guy is phenomenal. Got his hands on 3 Andy Dalton offers. I told you Andy did some questionable things in this game, and Josh had opportunities. And if it's not for that hand, I'm telling you right now, the man's got 2 interceptions, possibly 3 in this game. Special teams. I thought special teams let us down in this game. You get the 65-yard kickoff return after the opening touchdown march by the Redskins. You've got a missed field goal by D-Hop for 55 yards, and you get the big, crucial miss late from 34 yards to win the game, and that doesn't happen. We had a holding penalty, blocking it back on a couple of kickoffs that put us deep in our own territory. I just thought special teams let us down in this football game as a whole. Was not one of their better showings as a special team unit. Q-Bar, I thought Q-Bar struggled in this game, and Andy Dalton and company knew exactly when Josh Norman was out. They went after Q-Bar. He had a number of penalties in this game. He struggled, had a penalty in the end zone that I did not agree with, and that helped the Bengals get a touchdown. I thought, like I said, the officials were horrible in this game, but make no mistake about it, they didn't cost us the game. They helped make it tougher for us to win, but we had opportunities. But Q-Bar was not good in this game. He was beat consistently. A couple of penalties, one in the end zone that hurt us, and he just could not stay in front of guys. He had a tough go of it in this game. Penalties, next dislike for the Redskins. 15 accepted penalties in this game, and probably 5 more that weren't accepted. You just can't have that. A couple of them were egregious. To me, none worse than the Pierre Garçon penalty, that PG-88 penalty in overtime. Redskins have the football in field goal range after the big catch and run. You got Adam Jones bailing end zone coverage. Pierre gives him a little tug, but not enough to call, especially when Adam is in his back pedal, going and bailing out to zone coverage on the outside, playing his outside third. It's a terrible call by an official in a bad spot. You can't throw that flag there. Unbelievable that you would even throw that flag in that kind of spot with that defender doing, it was not man-to-man coverage. If it was man-to-man coverage, then you make that call. This guy is bailing out in zone. It is an egregious call. Stop the Redskins from having an opportunity to win the game on that final possession. Like I said, the officials really hindered the Redskins in this football game, really gave Cincinnati a number of opportunities to take this one from us, and they simply could not do so. Sean Laval, thought he struggled in this game. Thought Sean Laval had his worst game of the season. He was beat inside a couple of times, gave up the sack. He had a holding penalty once. Thought he struggled in this game. Gave up some pressures on Kirk. I just thought Sean Laval had a rough go of it in this football game. You have the Duke Iheanacho injury. That scared me because he was motionless on the field, and we were already down one safety. Will Blackman had left the field, did not return. Luckily, he was able to come back later once Iheanacho went down. But we always want to see Duke in the game. He finally gets an opportunity. I thought he was playing really well, and he gets injured. No telling what kind of timetable we're looking at with his injury and what's the severity of it. Then you get the piss poor tackling on 3rd and 10. A.J. Green catches a screen. This is a give-up play by Cincinnati. They throw a little screen to A.J. Green. He catches it, makes a couple of guys miss. They bounce off of each other and bounce off of him. And if you still come up, make the tackle, you've got them short. They're not in a position to go for it. They're going to punt or kick a field goal, Maybe punt, maybe even go for it. Who knows? I think they were right on that fringe of Mike Nugent field goal range. He'd already missed, so maybe you don't send him out there on 4th and 2. Maybe you go for it. Instead, 2 more Redskins converge, allowed A.J. Green to spin off of them and reach the football forward. Again, piss poor tackling by the Redskins, giving up a 3rd and 10 when they were giving up on the possession. And again, can't have that. They would later go on to score on a 1-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Hill. So these are the types of plays you got to make. You want to win, you got to make these plays. Redskins weren't making those plays in this game. And, of course, the pass interference called on Garçon, I talked about it already. Just the most egregious penalty called in this game. And there were a number of them that I didn't agree with, but this one was by far the worst that took the cake and really crippled the Redskins in their opportunities late. But this was one of the ones that really was a backbreaker for the Redskins. Thought it was an egregious call, really killed the Redskins. And I thought that if we got another shot for D-Hop, he was going to bang it home. And I was looking for redemption for him, and he didn't get that opportunity because the officials took it out of his hands. And then, of course, the miss by D-Hop, 34 yards. No excuses here. Was the snap high? Sure. Was the hold excellent? You betcha. Laces turned around. There's no excuse. He just missed. He just missed. And, again, I thought Stuart Craven said it best. We ride or die with D-Hop, and I would have bet my house on D-Hop, and that's what Stuart Craven said. He said, I bet my house on him every time thereafter. I feel the same way. D-Hop is money. He's not going to miss many kicks like that. Just so happens that I don't know if he at the plant foot was wrong because it's a sloppy field. Like I said, it's not the best kicking conditions for a field goal kicker, but no excuses. He missed a kick. You got to make it from 34, essentially an extra point. Give some credit to Marvin Lewis for using that timeout to ice him. But got to make the kick. We should be 5-3 right now, and we're not. We're 4-3-1, and that That stings. That stings indeed. You go to the Cincinnati Bengals second half dislikes. Missed extra point on the touchdown. Maybe we shouldn't even have been in overtime. Mike Nugent misses an extra point, but Mike Nugent misses kicks. So it didn't bother me. And I didn't say, oh, well, if he'd have made that extra point, they win the game, because that's what Mike Nugent does. He's not a great field goal kicker. Wasted third quarter timeout. Did come back to haunt him, but at the time, you don't know what timeouts are going to mean in the game. You know, I hate when teams use timeouts frivolously. He did that in the third quarter, so it was on the dislikes list. Domata Peko with a personal foul penalty. Why are you holding on? And he's another one of these dirty players that Cincinnati has. You got to watch these. They're the AFC version of the Los Angeles Rams. Those boys color outside the lines. If you don't watch out, you're going to leave the game with a couple of hurt players. You're going to leave the games getting in a couple of fights, having some dudes get fined, because these boys are dirty. And Domata Peko, right there, high up on that list of dirty players. You make a tackle, the player's trying to get up. Why he still got his legs? Then you throw him on the ground. For what? Redskins get a touchdown off that drive. So thank you. I appreciate that, Domata Peko. Andy Dalton with an interception. To me, this was a bad interception thrown by Andy Dalton. Just a panic job. If you're gonna get sacked there, take the sack. You're getting a field goal out of this, at least an attempt by Mike Nugent. Don't panic under duress and throw the football right to the Redskins when you've got clear control of this ball game. Big mistake by Andy Dalton there. Was not a great game by Andy Dalton at all. Fair catch interference by Darquez Dennard. Excuse me. Can't do that. Can't, just in that situation, you got to know better. You can't do that. Redskins get great field position off of that because they were going to be inside their own 10-yard line. Instead, you get the 15-yard mark off. Instead of being at their own 6, they get the football at the 21, which is a big difference in a game like this where field position is everything. That was a huge play. Redskins able to move the football after that fair catch interference. Would have had the game-winning field goal on that drive, but D-Hop not able to connect. And Dalton with the fumble on the quarterback sneak to really cap off of what was a really poor day by Andy Dalton by his standards. On a quarterback sneak, he's got the first down. Redskins able to rip it. Great job by big swaggy Chris Baker and Will Compton to come in there, jar that football loose. Anthony Lanier with the recovery, huge play. Redskins had one more opportunity, and then the officials swiftly took it away with the bad pass interference to OPI on PG-88 to end all hopes of the Redskins having a chance at winning this ball game in overtime with that last drive. This was a crazy game. Really disappointed that the Redskins didn't win. Cincinnati Bengals fans probably feeling the same exact way. They had opportunities in this game. You just feel like you lost. I feel like this is a loss. You know, Redskins are 4-3-1. They didn't get a loss for this. And this time might actually help us, but a win would have helped us even better. And we would have felt even better about going into the bye week at 5-3 than 4-3-1. This feels like a loss. This is what this feels like. Doesn't feel like a win. You don't take solace in saying, well, they didn't beat us. I don't give a damn. We didn't win. And so this loss is what it feels like, even though it's a tie. This loss is gut-wrenching because here's another example of the Redskins not beating a team that they're supposed to beat. This was an opportunity to beat a team that you should have beat, and we didn't beat them. If the Cowboys can beat them, we should have beat them. No excuses. Don't want to hear anything. And so this is disappointing. But I will say this. The fight that the fellas showed down 20-10, there's a difference in this team. And I'll tell you what. You forced 2 huge turnovers. The defense is getting better. We still gave up a ton of yards on the ground. We're still not great at stopping the run. That's going to be something that's going to hurt us all season long. So don't worry about that. But to force the turnovers, to get some defensive stops, to get pressure late in the game when we had to have it, Cincinnati going on some game-winning drives, one to end the game in regulation, one to try to take us out in overtime after we weren't able to get it done on the opening possession of overtime. We got stops when we needed them. We forced turnovers when we had to. The defense is playing well enough for us to win, and we're not doing enough offensively, which sounds crazy when you score 27 and rack up over 500 yards of total offense, but we're not doing enough. And you got to win 2 out of the 3 phases of the game, and you could argue that offense was a wash. They did their thing on offense. We did our thing on offense. We didn't win special teams in this game. They did. Even though they missed some kicks in the kicking game, they won special teams. And so we didn't do enough. That's the problem. Don't blame the officials for this. We had opportunities. And you know what I like to say is, don't put yourself in a position to where the officials can impact the game. We did that. So don't blame the officials. They made some terrible calls. But that pass interference on Pierre Garçon doesn't happen if D-Hop makes the field goal from 34 yards. That was an egregious holding penalty on Brandon Sheriff. But guess what? We rebounded, and R. Kelly got the 13-yard run to put us in field goal range. Don't make excuses, okay? We didn't do enough to win this game. We didn't. That's bottom line. And because of that, we're 4-3-1. Cincinnati leads this game at 3-4-1. Let's read your comments. All right. Corey Fitterman says, man, I'm really upset. We have so much talent on offense and it's not being used properly. Is it Kirk or the play calling? Which do you think? I don't really know what you're complaining about. I'm only complaints I have right now. Our weapons are being used. What more you want? I mean, would you like D-Jax to have some more touches and shots downfield? Sure. But what if the defense is taking that away? Did you see the interception he threw? Would you want him to throw the ball like that? You can't take shots when they're not there. Jameson Crowder over 100 yards. Jordan Reed approaching 100 yards with 99 yards and a touchdown. Chris Thompson eating out of the backfield. We even got Ryan Grant involved. What more you want? Vernon Davis, another solid performance. I don't know what more you want from the offense. The only thing I'm upset about is red zone offense. We can't seem to get it in the end zone once we get in the red zone. That's where I feel like we're struggling right now. And I think the play calling is as much to blame as the execution of the players in the red zone. Peter Parker says, I predicted in the Redskins report that Kirk would go off, but I had no clue we'd tie. And he did, man. Kirk Cousins played just as well as he did last week against Detroit. For some reason, we can't get wins in these games. We got to find a way to win these ball games. But Kirk was absolutely magnificent in this game. Under pressure, under duress, he played. The worst play of the game, just like last week against Detroit, was the last play of the game. Last week, he had Pierre Garçon open against the Lions on a dig route that would give us a chance to potentially get in the field goal range, and he missed him. On a Hail Mary, there was no reason for him to roll out to his left. He had all of his blocking set up to the right. He should have rolled out to his right. He would have got the plant set up and drive it to the end zone. He rolls out across his body to the pressure. It's a bad decision by Kirk. Where you going, man? All your blocking is to the right, and you're going to roll out to the left. He just panicked. But other than that, you're nitpicking. I'm nitpicking. We should have won the game. He played well enough for us to win this game. Devontae Thompson says, do you think the Redskins will rebound to give my Cowboys a run for their money? If the Cowboys continue to win, there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do. We don't control our own destiny right now. All we can do is just play games. The Cowboys control their own destiny. They beat Philly tonight. They got Cleveland next week. They could be at 7-1, running away with this division when it's all said and done. So right now, Redskins, all you can think about are the missed opportunities to beat Detroit and to beat Cincinnati and be 6-2 right now. Instead, you're 4-3-1. Dom Espo says, Kirk is our guy. No doubt about that. Steven Kinsler says, an effing tie. Shaking my effing head. I hear you, man. Steven Kinsler says, I really think we need another veteran cornerback. Heard Joe Hayden on TV, but trading block, that is, but very injury prone. I don't want Joe Hayden. You have to give up too much to get him, and like you said, he's never healthy. Steven Kinsler says, I really like what I see from Fat Rob. Think he's a better option than Matt Jones. Who? Matt Jones. Love seeing J.C. Ice become a dangerous slot receiver, man. J.C. Ice is money. I kept saying that I wish we would have taken Stephon Diggs. I'm happy with my J.C. Ice, man. This dude is money in the slot. Devontae Thompson says, who you got in the game tonight? I got the Cowboys. Bernard 543 says, how does it feel to tie? Are you happy, upset? I'm pissed off. I feel like we lost. That's how I feel about this tie. Ain't no Probe 9000 said, man, we couldn't get out of our own way. We seriously lost this game. Same thing you could have said last week. It's a process, and we're learning. Look, I feel really confident about what this team is doing and how we're growing, but we're still not there yet because good teams find a way to win this game. Good teams found a way to win last week, and we didn't in either game. Ain't no Probe 9000. Norman, what the F? Couldn't stand him today. How many times you going to get the same penalty? Keep those hands. I don't have a problem with Norman being aggressive. I thought the officials were being ticky-tack. Thought Josh Norman gave us a shot. Don't you see without him what this game would have been? The minute he left this game, what did Andy Dalton do? Slant to A.J. Green. Out to A.J. Green. Slant to A.J. Green. They're going to get in the end zone throwing to A.J. Green. He promptly had to come back on the field and make them go elsewhere with the football. How could you dare say anything about Josh Norman in this game? Without him, we don't stand a chance because they abuse us with whoever is checking. A.J. Green. Ain't no Probe 9000. Norman dropped not one, not two easy picks. Dude seriously choked this game. I don't agree with you. And his hand, if you haven't seen his hand, then you don't need to comment on Josh Norman and his ability to catch. The fact that he's playing with his hand the way that it is, He's gutting it out for us, man. I have nothing but respect for Josh Norman. I thought he played his ass off in this game. That's the best receiver in the league, and he went toe-to-toe with him. And he made some plays. Norman made some plays. Could he have caught those footballs? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's beating himself up for not catching them. His hand is in some bad shape. I thought he came out and gave us the best effort he could. I thought he gave us a shot to win. Ain't no Pro 9000. If these guys still complain about Joe Barry, I'm going to lose it. Aggressive, smart playing calling. The tackling was disgusting. It was. I agree. Joe Barry called a hell of a game, gave us a shot. We didn't make enough plays to win this football game. Ain't no Pro 9000 says, Hopkins, man, damn. He's money all the time. Can't believe it. At the same time, he shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. This game should have been over in regulation. I don't know if I agree if we should have won it in regulation, but yeah, I feel bad for D-Hop because he's money. And I hope this doesn't do anything to his confidence. I hope he comes back and is still kicking the way that we know he can kick the football. This can either help him become a better kicker or this could destroy him. We're going to find out. Ain't no Pro 9000. Sorry, Lou. This game just had me going the whole time. I got a vent. It's all good, man. That's what we're here for. Ain't no Pro 9000 says, how about the D-line and the O-line, outside linebacker crew stepping up for some huge plays. Proud as hell of them for stepping up when we needed it. Just couldn't get the win. Pretty much a loss. Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. Ain't no Pro 9000 again. How do the refs miss a defender nearly snapping J.C. Ice's neck at the goal line? Damn, man, so much to say about this one. That's as egregious of a face mask penalty as you're going to get. And the referee's standing right there. I think he's more focused on the touchdown than anything else. But damn, you can't miss that one, man. I don't know. Like I said, the officials were horrible in this game. It is what it is. Ain't no Pro 9000. Kirk had 460-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. What more do they want? I just don't know. Redskins have so much potential, man. We do, but got to stop shooting yourself in the foot and got to win games like this that are here to be won. Redskins didn't win the game, and because of that, you just feel a certain type of way about the Redskins just not taking advantage of some opportunities. And when you don't take advantage of opportunities, that's how you end up at 4-3-1. And so that's going to do it for me here, man, on this breakdown of Bengals and Redskins. Redskins had every opportunity. You could argue the Bengals had ample opportunities to win this game. Neither team get it done. And similar to last week on Sunday Night Football with the Arizona Cardinals and Seattle Seahawks, both teams had chances to win. Neither team able to do so. The game results in a tie. This one, 27-27. Redskins go to their bye week at 4-3-1. And now they need the Eagles to win to really stay in the thick of things in the NFC East race. If the Cowboys win tonight, the Cowboys are sitting in a great position to run away with this division. Meanwhile, Cincinnati Bengals blow an opportunity to get back to 500. Now they're 3-4-1 in a really bad AFC North division. They're still right there in the middle of things. And so we'll see if they can bounce back from this tie and make something of their season. That's going to do it for your man Louie T on lockdown coverage. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Got one more comment. Peter Parker says, our last loss of the regular season was against Detroit. We will come out with a vengeance after the bye. Mark my words. I hope you are right because we got Minnesota coming out of the bye. We'll talk much more about this game and the bye and the state of the Redskins on Wednesday night. I'll see you guys then. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you guys later. Have a good one.